All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Bailey Lamont. I'm here with Rico Brouwer and Marcel Kolaja, who is the lead candidate for the Czech Pirate Party going into the European elections in May. Hi, Marcel.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. It's great to talk to you. So our first question that we have here is, we know your name now, but maybe for those who are watching this video who don't know you, maybe you could just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, maybe your profession, your political experience.
Absolutely. So my name is Marcel Kolaja, and I am a leader of the Pirate Party in the Czech Republic in the European elections. Um, I I started, being involved in European politics in 2003 when the European Commission proposed introducing software patents in the EU, which um, funnily enough, the Czech Republic was not the member of the European Union at that time yet. And um, as the years went, and we managed to stop the software patents in 2005, the Czech Republic joined the European Union in the meantime, and then in 2009, the Czech Pirate Party was established, and I joined the party roughly a year after that in 2010, and I became actively involved in the party. I was a co-chairman of the Pirate Parties International. Then I was a vice chairman of the Czech Pirate Party, and I was a candidate in the European elections 5 years ago as a number two on the list. And now I am here as the number one on the list. In the meantime, I worked in communal politics. I was a member of a committee of information technologies in Brno, where I live, and I also worked on founding an NGO called Open Cities that helps cities to be more open and transparent for their citizens.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So this isn't your first time in the election, going into an election at this level. That's cool. So, how would you describe your overall campaign, like your team, your fellow candidates? How did you put together your electoral list? What was the process for that?
Yeah, so we have a really cool team. I think we all you have already interviewed Marketa, the number two on the list. Um, the number three is Mikuláš, who is currently a member of the national parliament and member of the European committee in the national parliament. Then we have Lukáš, who is interested in environmental politics, and he has also done a lot against corruption, and he has already received an award for that. So we have a really cool team. The list goes on. And the interesting thing about the list is that it has been set up in primary elections where all members of the party could vote. Maybe it's not something completely weird in the pirate parties, but it's definitely not common in other political parties.
Yeah, it's kind of something that sets pirates apart, I find, is that, we're all about that democracy at every level. And, we try to keep to that with when it comes to our own processes as well. So that's really cool that you guys did it that way. Um, so you're from the Czech Republic. How would you describe the Czech Republic right now? What are some of the key issues going into these elections, and basically what's going on there that you guys are kind of eager to address?
Yeah, so to better understand the political situation, we have a really strong movement called ANO here, which means yes, led by the current Prime Minister Babiš, who, on the other hand, is most probably in the conflict of interests because he, as a prime minister, is one of the key people to decide about the subsidies policy, the subsidies that come from the European Union, while his companies are also taking advantage of these. They are receiving these subsidies. So the European Commission actually has that on the table, and we, the pirates, are pushing the European Commission to publish the results before the elections, because we think that the voters have the right to know whether the prime minister is or it is not in the conflict of interest. We, as the pirates, we currently have 22 members of the parliament out of 200. So we had a pretty successful elections in 2017. And if you look at the polls that have been being published since then, we're steadily, with some ups and downs, we're steadily rising. So that is really cool that people like our politics of being transparent, communicate to people, and be honest. And when it comes to the European elections, it the topics that are becoming to be the most let's say hot for people is the um, uh, the kind of migration still, that has been, like, that there has been an issue in 2015. There was a migration crisis, and people are still kind of afraid what's going on. So that's apparently one of the issues in the elections. But it's not the only thing. It's also the quality of food, the double quality of food in Europe, because here in the Czech Republic, people do not like that the food is of lower quality than what people have in the Western countries. And then we have some, usual topics like will the Czech Republic adopt euro or not, which is not a European Parliament question, but it's still apparently one of the issues that are in the media for the European elections.
Do, if I may, do the pirates in Czech Republic have an opinion on that, on joining the euro as a currency or not?
Yes, our opinion is that we do not want to join to adopt euro now, because it's not completely well set what happens in a situation of financial crisis. So if you remember Greece and the issues with Greece, uh, uh, unfortunately Italy might fall into similar problems if financial crisis comes, and which is like the final crisis will most probably come. It's just a matter of time. And the problem is that we in the Czech Republic, as a country that is less wealthy than Italy, would actually pay the debt for Italy, who is more wealthy, and we don't like that. We don't think it's fair, so we want more fair rules to be also taken into account the wealth of the country. And before that, we don't want to join the euro. That's our official position of the Czech pirates.
Okay, thanks.
Fair enough. So there's a broad range of issues that you guys kind of have to be ready to deal with. And I mean, it's always interesting because people tend to think of pirates as like single issue, right? That like we only care about digital rights, or, we only care about copyright reform, whatever. But like that's really not true. And it's, it's really cool to see how not only, seeing pirates not only dealing with like, the core issues, the core pirate issues, but also seeing how our ideas translate into other issues that are not necessarily at our core, not necessarily um, what we're used to talking about normally. Switching gears, going into kind of the European Parliament level of things, what are you looking forward to most if you were to get elected to the European Parliament?
The work. Yeah.
Go
So
on.
the reason why I'm running for a seat, and I was running for a seat 5 years ago, and the same reason why I joined activism 16 years ago, is that the most important. Uh, no, it's not probably the best to put it this way, but there are important issues that cannot be solved on national level, and these issues are uh, can be solved on the European level only, and the European cooperation in the European Union is the only way how to solve these problems. And mostly the policies that I have been interested in, like since 16 years ago, um, are all of them have to be solved on the all of them have to be discussed on the European level. So what I am looking uh, forward to in the European Parliament most is, dealing with these issues that need to be solved on the European level. For for us pirates, the biggest priorities uh, in the European Parliament, to like the issues to be solved are this, double quality of food that uh, I talked about already. There was a directive that was passed on the last plenary that did not solve the problem sufficiently and needs to be worked on. Second, we want to solve the problem of tax havens. There are, multinational corporations like Google and Facebook, for instance, who um, who run business in the European Union in the respective countries, but they tax only a little, and they tax in tax havens, and that is just not fair, because when the company runs the business, for instance, in the Czech Republic, they need to pay taxes in the Czech Republic, and that applies to all European countries, of course. And third, one of the biggest problems that we need to face and needs to be faced on the European level is the climate change, the environmental protection. So that I'm really happy to have number 4 on the list, Lukáš, who is an expert in environmental politics, and I will be really happy to see him working on that in the European Parliament. And in general, we have been seeing the trend of nationalist and populist parties, rising in Europe, which kind of comes with the political, let's say, crisis or stagnation that we are in. And I believe that this is caused by bad politics done by the political forces that currently are in the European Parliament. The most powerful, which is mostly EPP. We have seen the copyright directive. What happened, that was really nasty. And I want to stop. We want to stop this nationalist, agenda rising, and we want to be more transparent to the citizens, communicate with them more, because people do not really understand European politics in the Czech Republic at all. So we want to change that, and we want to get the trust of people in the European Union back, because actually the trust of Czech citizens in the European Union is really, really bad these days.
Hey Marcel, you're the front runner for Czech Republic. Chances are you're going to get elected. So how are the preparations on a personal level going for you with your job, your work, where you're going to live in Brussels? Are you working on those things already as well or not?
Yeah, so I believe that I have been preparing for years, basically, to be in being involved in the politics, even though not elected in the parliament. And yeah, now it's really busy already because like it. I, we're getting all the media attention that comes with the campaign. We're starting the campaign officially on Monday, and it's gonna be really super busy. Um, and the interesting thing is what how it really works with the European elections is that you know uh, if you are elected, you 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 will learn that at 11 p.m. on Sunday. And then on Monday, it's best actually to be in Brussels to start negotiating about the groups, about the committees and everything, right? So, so I already have a flight ticket. Actually, our 5 top candidates have flight tickets because we don't want to miss the chance if we are elected to be from the start there and start the negotiations, because that's gonna be a busy weeks after the elections. um, and yes, I am actually going to be living in Brussels, but in Brno as well, because I don't want to lose the contact with the citizens. So when it's gonna be the home week or the constituency week, I will be in Brno, reachable in the office of my office in Brno in the Czech Republic, and other weeks I'll be Brussels or Strasbourg. So it's gonna be all around Europe.
Typically, that's the hardest question that people ask you. So, how many people do you think are going to get elected with you? Oh, well, we bought 5 plane tickets just to be prepared. So that's good for confidence. Marcel, thank you so much for this interview, and also maybe you can ask your number 4 to join us in an interview like this and talk about his environmental plans.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. It was great to talk to you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Bye bye.